Hello friends, welcome to today's video lesson. This is the continuation of the last video. In the last video we talked about text structures. We are going to be concluding that topic in today's video. Last week we talked about the descriptive text structure and the sequence text structure. So we'll continue from there in today's video. Just for reminder, a text structure is the way authors arrange their non-fictional writing. So the way authors organize their writings, the way they organize their stories, the way they organize their articles, that's what text structure is about. Alright? So let's go into today's lesson and see 3 more examples of text structures. The first we'll be considering in this video is the problem and solution text structure. Here the author tells us what is wrong, which is the problem, and he also tells us how it was solved, which is the solution. So what went wrong, the problem, and how was it solved, the solution. Okay, so let's see an example of problem and solution text structure. My cat Bud and I went for a walk. Few minutes into the walk, Bud sighted a mouse and went after it. I tried to stop it but couldn't. I searched all over but couldn't find it. I sat on the bench by the road and began to cry. Tim and John, who were playing hide and seek few blocks away, saw my cat and brought it back to me. I felt relieved and happy, and I thanked them. Now this article or this story has a problem. You will notice it when the author said, I tried to stop it but couldn't. I searched all over but couldn't find it. That's the problem. He searched for his cat all over, he couldn't find it. That's the problem in this text. And how was this problem solved? He said Tim and John saw the cat and brought it back to him. Okay, that was how this problem was solved. So this is an example of a problem and solution text structure. Let's see another example of a text structure, cause and effect text structure. Here the author explains what happened, which is the effect. And he also tells us what made it happen, which is the cause. So looking at this picture, you will notice a guy tumbling down the stairs. Tumbling down the stairs is what happened. The guy tumbled down the stairs. That's the effect. But what made him tumble? Possibly he was pushed. That was what made it happen. That was what made this thing happen. So in cause and effect text structure, the author talks about what happened and what made it happen. So let's see an example of this type of text structure. Brushing of teeth is something we ought to do every day. Reason being that it helps us have fresh breath. It keeps our mouth clean and free from germs. It also keeps mouth odor away from us. Okay, so this text has a cause and an effect. The cause is brushing of teeth. The author was talking about brushing of teeth and he told us some effects of brushing of teeth. The first he mentioned was fresh breath. He said when you brush your teeth, you will have fresh breath. He also mentioned us having clean mouth. He said it keeps our mouth clean, which is an effect of brushing of teeth. He mentioned germ free. He said our mouth will also be free from germs. And the last thing he mentioned was we will not have mouth odor. Okay, so this is an example of a cause and effect text structure. When you brush your teeth, these are the effects you will experience. These are the things that will happen to you when you do something, when you brush your teeth. Okay, so cause and effect is another example of a text structure. And let's see the last one for this lesson. Compare and contrast text structure. Here the author tells us how the things he's talking about, how they are the same. And when he's talking about how they are the same, he's comparing. He also tells us how they are different. And when he's talking about how they are different, he's making a contrast. Okay? So I have two bags in front of me. As an author, if I want to talk about these pictures in front of me, I will talk about the fact that they are bags. They are pictures of bags. This is how they are the same. They are bags. And when I'm talking about them being bags, I'm comparing them. I'm talking about what is the same. What makes them the same. But when I want to make a contrast, I will identify one as pink and the other as black. That's the difference between these pictures. One of the pictures is a picture of a pink bag and the other is a picture of a black bag. Okay? So let's see an example of compare and contrast text structure. Bees and ants both live and work in large groups called colonies. Ants live in molds while bees live in hives. Also, all bees have wings, but not all ants have wings. I would love to compare because the author is talking about bees and ants. And he mentioned that they live and work in large groups called colonies. So bees work in colonies, ants work in colonies. Bees live in colonies, ants live in colonies. Alright, that's the similarity between bees and ants. This is what makes them the same. But what makes them different? What's the contrast between ants and bees? He said ants live in molds, but bees live in hives. And he also said not all ants have wings, but all bees have wings. That's the difference between ants and bees. So this text is an example of a compare and contrast text structure. So if you've seen the two videos, the last week's video and this video, you will find out that we've talked about 5 examples of text structures: descriptive text structure, sequence text structure, cause and effect text structure, problem and solution text structure, and compare and contrast text structure. So I would love you to try out these activities, okay? Read the text and attempt the questions. I trust you enjoyed the video lesson. See you in my next video class. Bye-bye.